It is game one of a big weekend series between the Yankees and the Red Sox from Beantown. The Yankees will look to Gerrit Cole, who's trying to pick up his 8th win of the year and build on the Yankees' commanding lead in the American League East. My recap, your reactions, coming up next. This is Yankees Game Night. Goodness gracious. 60 wins. First team to 60. How's it going, everybody? Big win for the Yankees tonight against the Boston Red Sox in Beantown. You know what? I've accidentally got Wandy Peralta up there as the belt, but that's not actually the belt winner. We've got a vote going on. I just was testing out his screen, or his headshot, whatever. All right, so pretty good game tonight. That was almost as good as one of those wars that you have between the Yankees and the Red Sox in the early parts of the 2000s, of 2003, 2004. Unfortunately, Judge was not a part of it. But before we get started tonight, we lost a giant in the entertainment industry tonight. One of my favorites, Bronx native James Caan. Elf, Misery, The Godfather, ton of classics. Rest in peace, and thank you for the entertainment. All right, so the Yankees have been kind of grand slam happy the last couple of nights. 2 last night, 1 tonight, and that's a fun way to win ball games. 85% of the time, if your team hits a grand slam, they're going to win the game. Doesn't hurt when you've also got your ace on the mound. Gerrit Cole entered tonight with a 1.37 ERA over the last 4 starts. So aside from 1 or 2 bad outings this year, he's been pretty good. He's pitched well against the Astros. He went 6 innings against the Astros. He's pitched well against the Rays, but Rafael Devers continues to have Gerrit Cole's number. No Anthony Rizzo again tonight, still out with the sore back. No Aaron Judge tonight. Aaron Boone said that Judge has lower body soreness. Smart move probably to give him the day off. I was shocked to see him out of the lineup, so I knew something was wrong. You don't sit Aaron Judge against Boston. But if he's feeling any kind of pain at all, you got to rest him at this point. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I get it. And it's always nice to pick up a W on a night where Aaron Judge is not in the lineup. Pretty good broadcast combo in the booth tonight. Ryan Ruocco and David Cone. I thought they were excellent together. And we're going to have an Amazon Prime game tomorrow night, I believe, with them. And then Saturday and Sunday are both national televised games. So I don't think we're going to have Ryan Ruocco, but we might have David Cone for the ESPN game. Yankees defense was pretty sharp early in this one. Joey Gallo made a really nice running catch in the first inning. DJ LeMahieu turned a nice 3-3-6 double play in the second. Gleyber Torres picked up another hit in the third inning. He's been swinging the bat really well. He had a couple of hits tonight. Big story tonight on offense, though, was one swing of the bat from Josh Donaldson.
That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
Grand slam home run to dead center for the bringer of rain. His 8th home run of the season. That put the Yankees up 4-0 in the third inning. Very next pitch was to Aaron Hicks, and he visited the sticks back-to-back and a belly-to-belly. Rafael Devers answered right back for the Red Sox with a long home run in the bottom of the second. He continues to have Gerrit Cole's number. He got him on opening day. Got him twice tonight. Yankees got another run on a tricky pop-up that was initially ruled a double, changed to an error, changed back to a double from Trevino. And they were talking about the wind all night, and I checked the clock when this happened, and it was at 8:42 p.m., so you know it was right during that twilight hour. That was a tough play, so I think a double is a right call there. When the ball goes above the roof like that, it can just look like a little gray streak in the sky. And then it's coming down at however fast baseball's come down. And it can be tough with the wind pushing it to make that play. So I think that's just a nice lucky double. Big run at the time because the very next inning, Rafael Devers annihilated another pitch from Garrett Cole. A 3-run shot to dead center field. That cut the lead to 6-5. I know there's a lot of Yankees fans out there that want to steal Xander Bogaerts when he becomes a free agent. But to me, the guy you want from the Red Sox is Rafael Devers. If only because it'll cut down Garrett Cole's ERA by about a run each season because he owns Cole so much. But the guy would put up mega numbers in the Bronx. I wasn't in love with Garrett Cole's body language after the home run. He kind of looked defeated. He gave like a shrug or one of these. And, I'd be okay with pissed. Not on the level that Chris Sale was pissed last night where he threw a temper tantrum in the minor leagues and trashed the minor league clubhouse. But, he looked defeated. He looked sad. And that's not what I want to see out of my ace. Just didn't like the body language there. You got to wonder what Roger Clemens would do in that situation with a guy who's owning you so much. Mike Piazza comes to mind. I'm not saying you should hit him in the head, but maybe make him move his feet, make him a little bit more uncomfortable in the box. Cole's final line for tonight: 6 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, 2 home runs allowed, both to Devers. But hey, he hung in there and he picks up his 8th win of the year. Joey Gallo unsuccessfully tried to drag bunt in the top of the 9th. But first, we got to talk about Wandy Peralta. I uploaded his screenshot, I keep calling it screenshot, his headshot. And that's what I was testing out before we came on. So that's why it was still up there. He didn't win the belt vote, but he did a tremendous job out of the bullpen. 4 up, 4 down, and he got Rafael Devers out in the 8th. Back to the 9th inning, Joey Gallo unsuccessfully tried to drag bunt towards the right side. Ended up bunting it right at the first baseman. I thought it was an interesting choice to try and steer that ball towards the right side when we know and we've seen him have success steering it towards the left side. So maybe he just felt like, Devers, who was over there kind of playing shallow shortstop, would have been on that, and he was trying to bunt it towards second base and beat it out. Either way, it seems like the harder route to take. Mike King did a nice job out of the bullpen tonight. Clay Holmes came in for the 9th and slammed the door, sending the Boston Red Sox 15 games back in the American League East. And as an old friend would say, it's what you want.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win!
All of that, please.
Cherry Cabra says, will Kiner Falefa, get a home run this year? I think last year he had 8. And I'm honestly surprised he hasn't run into one yet. I mean, we see pitchers, not anymore because of the DH, run into home runs. To see a professional hitter who has a little bit of strength to him, I mean, we've seen him hit one off the wall. He just hasn't hit any. I mean, he just doesn't connect for the long ball. But he is 3rd on the team in hits, and he's catching most of the balls out there. So I think Kiner Falefa's doing a nice job. Ian1216 says those 4 outs from Wandy were gigantic tonight. Definitely deserved belt consideration, but with a grand slam, there's really only one man that the fans could choose.
Let's go. Belt winner.
Kenyon Tadlock says 60, baby. 60 wins. Luis says Gallo should bunt all the time. At least he made contact. Well, there you go. He did make contact. Tallyron says, stop pitching to Devers. The rest of the team is mediocre. I wouldn't say mediocre. JD Martinez is a pretty good hitter. They've got some other dangerous hitters. Let's go ahead and take a look at the box score because this was a pretty fun game. Not quite on the level of those 2003, 2004 games because there wasn't any late inning drama. You see all goose eggs between the 6th and the 9th innings. But Garrett Cole picks up his 8th win of the year, 3.26 ERA. Holmes picks up save number 16, 0.47 ERA. Tonight was the first time since Chapman has been back that I can remember that there's been a save situation in which you had the opportunity to go to either one of them. Chapman had pitched a couple of days in a row in Pittsburgh, so I guess you don't want to use him 3 days in a row, but also Holmes is the man to go to right there. And that's been pretty clear. 0.47 ERA is unbelievable. 0 for 4 from LeMahieu tonight, 263 average on the season. We got a dono here from Aaron Judge, says, sucked. Let's go Yanks. Aaron Judge, MVP. Appreciate that. And we got another one from Ian1216, says, Franchi Cordero is the new Luis Castillo. Appreciate that, guys. All right, so Carpenter, 0 for 5 tonight. Gleyber Torres, though, 2 for 5, 264 average on the year. OPS back over 800. Stanton, 0 for 3 in his return to Boston. He usually just destroys Boston at Fenway. Just not picking up a lot of hits, not getting on base a lot other than the home run. Aaron Hicks goes 2 for 4. He's coming out of it. Donaldson with the grand slam. I mean, you know, the 5 and 6 hitters and the 7 hitter, you know, with the bloop double by Trevino, pop up really more than a bloop. That was the story of the Yankees offense. On a night where you don't have Rizzo, you don't have Judge, you got to have some guys step up. And Donaldson and Hicks are the guys that, you know, other than Stanton, you would expect to do that. So, hey, good night. Lori says the Sox are 0-8 in this series against the AL East. I think she means 0-8 in series. Yeah, sorry, I read it wrong. 0 for 8 in series against the AL East this year. That is brutal. WWS says that ump was horrible, very inconsistent, and I wholeheartedly agree.
I wholeheartedly agree.
All right, let's take a look at the pitching. So Garrett Cole, as we mentioned, 6 innings, 5 runs. Wandy Peralta, the 4 big outs. Mike King got 2 big outs in the 8th inning, and Clay Holmes, once again, dominant. So, hey, good night for the Yankees. Ben Green says Cole's approach to Devers was flawed. Ken Singleton used to say, some guys just throw your speed, right? You just have some guy's number. And I think Devers is just one of those guys who's got Garrett Cole's number. I mean, anything he throws up there, I don't think he's thinking, here comes a fastball, here comes a curveball. I think he's thinking, here comes a baseball. And he's just seeing the ball really well out of his hand. But, you know, it's going to happen. There's going to be guys like that on every team. I mean, David Cone couldn't get Ken Griffey Jr. out. Couldn't get him out. In fact, Griffey took him deep pretty much every time he faced him. It was insanity. You know, that's just how baseball is sometimes. Joe Baggs says Cole's face after the second home run said it all. Yeah, that was tough. He was definitely a little bit shook up. You see the base hit from Gleyber here. Let's just watch through the highlights. This is the grand slam from Donaldson. You can always tell because he does that bat drop, bat flip. He hits the guy in the yellow shirt. And then hanging slider to Aaron Hicks. He gets into it and puts it in the bullpen. Here was the breaking ball. That was a good pitch, pitcher's pitch. It was down below the zone, and Devers just golfed it. I mean, you got to be careful lowing into lefties, but you know, that's a good pitcher's pitch that he hit. And then Hicks almost hits another home run. He hits one off the T sign and gets a triple out of it. Here's the pop-up from Trevino. And you can see he starts in, but the wind pushes it back. And he can't get there. Nice hustle by Trevino. This is the double off the wall. And then I think you're going to see the next home run by Devers. This is another one, bottom of the zone. I mean, it got too much of the plate. So maybe you want to get that ball a little bit more on the outer half. But hey, look, Devers just hits him well. Prime Ghost says Fenway looks like a giant urinal. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Isaac Garcia says Donaldson and IKF have been picking it up. Absolutely. They've both been hitting the ball very well. Donaldson, you know, showing more power the last couple of nights, and IKF picking up a ton of base hits. Derek Musciano says, if Donaldson is mediocre this year but crushes the Red Sox, that's a win. You'll take it. You'll take it. Ricardo Colon says, where is Andujar? He is in AAA, unfortunately. Mike the AC Merch says, why keep pitching to him with runners on? Well, I mean, that's a good question. It kind of reminds me of Major League 2 when the manager Taylor elects to walk a hitter to face Jack Parkman with Rick Vaughn. And, Parkman had owned Rick Vaughn throughout the whole movie. And the announcer, played by Bob Uecker, says, Taylor must be thinking, I don't know what the hell he's thinking. So when you asked that question, I kind of had the same thought. My mind reached back in there to pull something like, well, he's obviously pitching to him for... And then I just went blank. I mean, yeah, don't give him anything to hit. They were below the zone. They missed the zone. Maybe miss it by a little bit more. Anthony Pupo says, our bullpen is unreal. They are phenomenal this year. Lights out. Landon C says Cortez would have shook it off. Cortez is a beast. And I see a lot of people saying that they're kind of down on him now, kind of losing faith in Cortez after a little bit of a rough patch. You had to understand that he was going to regress to the mean a little bit. But the man is made of the best stuff. The man is going to come through for us in the postseason. Mark my words here today, July 7th. Nestor Cortez is going to be our El Duque this year. Pamela Davis says, people who say Cole didn't pitch well don't know what they're talking about. Cole had excellent command today. Let's take a look at Garrett Cole and his command. So I'm going to back this up a little bit, and we'll look at the Garrett Cole highlights. So, he had good zip. We saw a number of 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. There's the fastball in the first inning. That was at 98 for a strikeout. There's a good slider down and away. He had really good bite on that pitch. There's another fastball up and away. That's always a good pitch to lefties. That used to get Griffey out. There's another breaking ball. He gets the half swing. 100-mile-an-hour fastball for the whiff right there. Another good biting slider. I thought he had good stuff. Just a couple of bad pitches with runners on. Spots the outside corner there. It looked like a cutter. Hey, good night for him. Hudson Bowman says, just what kind of stiffness did Judge have? Well, I'm not a doctor. I don't know for sure. But my guess is all the travel, and being such a big guy and playing a sport like he does every day, having to sit on those planes, going from really hot weather into air-conditioned hotels and things like that. He's probably just feeling it a little bit and needs a day. He was wearing batting gloves late in the game, so he obviously could have played, but he did not. Just got an alert about the Yankees. Yep, 60 victories. First team to reach 60 victories this season. James G says, it's Klaber Day. I love it. That is fantastic. We've got to make that an actual thing from now on. All right, let's see what else. William M. says, Clay Holmes is going to be nasty in a deep playoff run. I agree. Lou Ram says, Fenway smells like a giant urinal too. I can imagine. Frankie Baseball says, R.I.P. James Caan. Let's get a round of applause for James Caan. What a guy. What a legend. I think Misery is probably my favorite James Caan role. That was the one where he plays a writer, kind of based on Stephen King. The story is actually, I believe, about Stephen King's addiction to, I want to say, hard drugs or whatever. Might have been alcohol. He wrote the story about being abducted and held captive. And Kathy Bates plays his number one fan, his stalker, who finds this man on the side of the road. I guess she'd actually been following him after a snowstorm, and takes him in and nurses him back to health, but holds him captive. And it's one of the best movies you'll ever see. If you love suspense, as I do, it's definitely worth checking out. A lot of people like to watch actors' performances once they've died. It's just kind of a thing. They're in the news a lot. Let's go back and check out their catalog. If you decide to check out James Caan movies, you cannot skip out on Misery. Fantastic performance by Caan. Also fantastic performance by Kathy Bates. She won an Oscar that year. Mike the AC Merch with the big dono says, this is our year. Love this team. Go Yanks. Appreciate that.
He's done it again.
William says, do you think this year could be our year to win a World Series? It's looking like it. I mean, the playoffs are always a crapshoot, right? But I would consider it a victory to go 7 games, put up a fight against the Dodgers, and just let the chips fall where they may. You know, the 2001 World Series where we lost was heartbreaking, but we got to play to the very end of the season. And that's really, in the end, like goal number 1. Take it as far as you can get it. And yes, you'd like to win it all, but I wouldn't call the season a failure if we don't win it all. It's been a great year. It's been a fun year. Whatever, tweaks Brian Cashman has made, the Kiner Falefas and the Marwin Gonzalez's and, the maturation of Clay Holmes, it's all been a ton of fun. And I do think they have a shot to win it all, but I'm not going to be too hard on them if they don't, because honestly, this has been a really great year. Ben Case is honestly not impressed by any National League team other than the Mets. The Mets, losing to the Mets would be a failure, but it's got to scare the hell out of you, no matter how much better your offense is than the Mets. If you face them with a healthy DeGrom, and he's coming back, we'll see how long he's back, and Max Scherzer, who is back and pitching well, could be trouble, man. Could be a trouble scenario. Stone Cold with another dono tonight says, loved El Duque, one of my favorite pitching windups. Big leg kick. Rob Freeman says, expanded playoffs has me nervous. I'm a little bit nervous about it too, but I think it could work out in the Yankees' favor, especially if they have home field advantage, because they're going to be facing a team that just had to spend a lot of pitching bullets to get through the early rounds. So I feel good about the Yankees' chances, but it's going to be a crapshoot. I mean, every year weird things happen in the playoffs. 2007, who could have predicted the midges in Cleveland? Nobody. Who could predict the Jeffrey Mayer home run in 96? High fly ball to right field. And this kid, if you don't know about this, Jeffrey Mayer, reached over the right field wall, stole a home run. It was ruled a home run. This is before replay. Derek Jeter hit the ball. And that ended up being the difference in the game. I think the Yankees lost the next night to David Wells. If they had lost that first game, they'd be down 2-0 in the series, and maybe the first win in that dynasty never happens. So the playoffs, you can never tell. But I'm feeling good about it. All right, guys, we're going to call it a night. I'll be back tomorrow, and then taking Saturday off. And then Sunday night is an ESPN game, so we'll see. I might do a little watch party or a little pregame or something like that. But I'll see you next time. One more time from John Sterling.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
More of that, please.
James G with the final great point of the night says, pitching wins championships. That it does, and the Yankees have pitching in spades. I'll see you next time.